Well, good morning, friends. It's Joy with Decor Made with Joy, and today we're going to be making a bow for a wreath that I'm going to donate for a community fundraiser. And I have made yellow and blue wreaths before, but my inspiration for the bow came from Oh Fancy Designs, Patty over there. We are both members of the Luxury Loops box, where we get designer ribbon each month, and this was one of our months that had some yellow, it had some blue, Farrisilk ribbon in the blue, but she paired the yellow with a chinoiserie, and I just thought that was really pretty. So thanks to Patty for this idea. And it's just inspired me to go ahead and make another classic looking yellow and blue wreath for this community fundraiser. So I'm going to bring you along on the ride to make this bow for this wreath. And you see I've already started pulling greenery back here into a basket, or florals and greenery for my yellow and blue wreath. And that's how my process works, is that I start thinking about things. I think about it a few days, and then I go and start pulling flowers and fillers, and I always pull way too much, but I have what I need, depending on how the wreath unfolds. And so I have flower storage here in the in my craft studio. You see over there a wall, but I also have an unfinished attic space with a wall of florals. So I got some stuff out of there too, and that's where I tend to keep my greenery and all my different colors of ficus is in that unfinished attic space, and it's in buckets and totes and a floral wall with the trash cans secured to the wall. So I'll take you in there sometime. But today we're going to make this bow. Well, I need to reposition the camera so you can see what I'm doing, and I'll be right with you. Okay, so here we go at my bow station, and I've got my easy bow maker, although you could definitely do a hand bow if that is your preference. I have got a piece of bind wire cut, and this is what I use at the back to secure it to the wreath. I trap it inside the zip tie. I have a zip tie. I have my ribbon scissors. And I needed a pair of wire cutters to cut the bind wire. And I'm going to use that also to cut off the zip tie so that it is not too large. And I have dropped my ribbons down at my feet into my basket, which is my preference. You see here, you could just use your spool if that's your preference, but I just drop it down there into my feet. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut a dovetail. Fold your ribbon in half so that the two wired parts come together, and then your wired edges are going to become your points. And so you cut and this is such thick fabricy bow, but it's gorgeous. Kind of see how that dovetail works. And I think before then I'm going to make two tails out of my chinoiserie. This is also a Farrisilk. I've had this a while and getting low on the spool. And so throw that over in the trash. We'll make a dovetail. And I want to make each side about 6 inches. So I measured that out using the ruler on my Easy Bow Maker. It doesn't have to be precise. All right. So you see coming out of my, when I feed it through the center, it's coming out of my dowels here, and I've got at least 6 inches on each side, and then I want to compress that down. Compress, straighten out your ribbon where you get the edges pulled out, and then compress that down. So it's going to be small tail, but I'll have other tails here. So my bottom layer of my bow is going to be this thick yellow, and I want an upper tail of about 6 inches. So I'm going to feed that down, pull that to the top, straighten up the edges. Now I'm going to take my ribbon, which the fabric side is up, turn it 180 degrees away from me. And you can make as large a tails or loops on your bow as you want, but I'm using an 18-inch grapevine as my base, so I don't want the loops just humongous. If I was using a 24-inch base, I would make larger loops, but I'm going for 6-inch loops, and I'm just measuring this here on my Easy Bow Maker, which is one of the reasons I like using it. It has the built-in ruler, and you just see where 6 inches is on your ruler there. Okay, bring it back through the center and straighten out all the ribbon. And since this is such thick ribbon, you're going to have to manipulate it a little. Turn it away from yourself, 180 degree turn, and measure out a 6-inch loop on the right hand side using your ruler on your Easy Bow Maker. And then bring that down and make a tail. A lot of times I'll make a 3-loop bow, but this ribbon is so thick, I just don't think I need 3 loops. So dovetail the end there. Next, we're going in with our chinoiserie ribbon. Bring that through the dowels. Make a small upper loop if you want to. You don't have to. Turn it away from yourself with the bottom side up, and we are going to make a couple of, probably 3 on this, 5-inch loops. Compress it, bring it back through the center, compress it down, straighten out the edges. Let's make one on the right hand side, turn it away from myself, and make a 5-inch loop here on the right hand side. Alright, now on that left hand side, we're going to go ahead and make one more loop. Compress it down using your thumbs, straighten out the edges, measure it by just using the loop underneath it to get the same. Now I'm going to pull one of these loops up to the top and then cut myself a tail here. Actually, I'm not going to make any kind of tail. I'll just cut this on an angle. just love a chinoiserie. I just think it's so pretty. Now I'm reaching down into my basket and I'm getting my third color, and that's going to be the solid blue. And you notice I did not use this. I just think using two 4-inch bows or ribbons in a 18-inch grapevine is kind of overwhelming, so I'm just not going to. We'll save this for another project and let this be the star. I think it's gorgeous. Alright, we'll create a small upper tail, and then we'll come back in and start creating our loops. And we're going to go, this one's going to be, looks like on the ruler, about 4.5 inches. Press it down, press with your thumbs, turn it away from yourself. Bottoms up, create a 4.5 inch loop on that right hand side. All right, so that's one loop on each side. Let's go ahead and make a second loop on the left hand side. Pull one up, one down, and look and see how you like it. And I do like the 3-loop bow. And then I'm going to make a small little, this loop on the right hand side is going to be about 1.5 inches, and this is just going to cover my mechanics on my bow so you can't see the zip tie. All right, so I have my loops done, and you know, we'll play with that more before we attach. But now we're going to go ahead and take our piece of bind wire, take it all underneath the ribbon package on the right hand side of the dowels, pull it to half is up and half is down, and again this is what will attach it to our wreath form. Then we're going to go back in with our zip tie, and we're going to go underneath the bind wire. We're going to go underneath all the ribbons, and with this designer ribbon it's sometimes hard to close the zip ties because all of it is so thick, but I think I can get it to work. Okay, bring it down until it starts to lock. Now let's pull everything out of the bow maker and make sure I captured my bind wire, which I did. And now let's compress that whole package down with our thumb and finger and spin that zip tie around to the back, and make sure that the zip tie is, have to scooch it down just a little bit to get it right in the middle, and then we're going to tighten it up. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Okay. Now this is where your little small loop comes in handy. You're going to pull it out, and it just covers that middle nice. And now the rest of it is just playing, getting the loops like you want them to lay. I'll probably cut that off just a little bit more, and once I attach it to the wreath, I will, you know, fluff the loops just a little bit more. But here you could see what a pretty bow that makes, and thanks to Patty again for the idea and the inspiration on the using the chinoiserie with the thick yellow, and I think that's just going to be so pretty. All right, let me know if you have any questions, or if you need SKU numbers on any of the ribbon. If you want to order, be happy to give you that. All right, y'all take care.